At the height of the Jackson Five's initial success, the Jackson parents, Joseph and Catherine, purchased a 2-acre estate on Havyenhurst Avenue in Encino on May 5, 1971 for $250,000. In order to bring together the whole family and build a lavish life in Los Angeles after gaining fame and fortune in the music business. By 1981, Michael Jackson had also found solo success with the release of his album Off the Wall and was about to start the recording of his next, Thriller. However, at the same time, Joseph Jackson was having financial issues and decided he had to sell the Encino house. As a result, Michael made the decision to buy half of the property for $500,000, and the remainder was split between his parents, both owing 25% each. It was at this moment the power dynamics between Michael and his formidable father was forever changed. Having been the breadwinner for the family since the age of 10, tensions built between the two, as Michael Jackson suddenly had the leverage to take control of his life, career, and therefore the destiny, excuse the pun, of his dependable family. This is when the house, once nicknamed the Big House because it felt like a prison at times, underwent through Michael's full Jacksonification. Here's the detail. But first, if you are interested in understanding the man, the music, and the magic behind Michael Jackson, we are your dedicated channel. So hit subscribe and that bell notification as we tackle all things MJ with 2 new videos every week. Also, check out our store for original MJ-inspired styles. A great gift for any Michael Jackson fan. Link is in the description below. After becoming the majority owner of his former childhood home, at age 23, Michael decided to completely renovate the house. Michael Jackson took this opportunity to indulge in all his lavish fantasies, disregarding the tastes and requirements the rest of the family may have had. The original home was destroyed to be rebuilt. After 2 years, once completed, it became a real palace. A second floor was added, the gardens were maintained, and all the interior renovated in the image of Michael and his often flamboyant tastes. Catherine Jackson once said, "As Michael had paid for this new home, it was decorated according to his tastes. It was his idea, for example, that the house was to be English Tudor style. I cannot say I'm crazy about Tudor style. For me, these houses are too dark and too gloomy. But finally, we agreed to have lots of windows to bring maximum light." A movie theater and recording studio was added. The front of the studio mimicked a toy shop, with porcelain dolls, little wooden and lead soldiers, teddy bears, and a mini rocking chair. Disney-inspired memorials were commissioned, including one depicting Michael reading the Jehovah's Witness Bible, The Secrets of Life. All the windows were furnished with small stained glass. A brick walkway was built that led to a 3-level white fountain in front of the house. A koi pond and 6-foot-tall Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs diorama was added inside the lavish trophy room. Next to the garage, Michael had built a miniature version of Disneyland's Main Street. Not to mention a candy store and a mock flower shop was also included. There was also a replica of the talking robot of Abraham Lincoln, like the Lincoln attraction of Disneyland. There were also hand-engraved signs carrying messages typical of Disney World. There was one in particular suspended at one of the corners of the house, where are inscribed the words, "Follow your dreams where they can lead you." In addition to Jackson and his family, Bubbles the chimpanzee also called Encino his home for a brief period in the 80s, as well as a couple of peacocks. 2 llamas, 2 hinds, a giraffe, and a ram had also taken up residence there. The animals spent the night in the stable and could walk freely during the day. Fans or neighbors would see Michael walking his animals out and about in Encino, on the roadside as is the case with his Louis Llama. In his apartments, he had a brick fireplace, a black marble bathroom, and a wall bed that could be pulled up against the wall, because Michael often preferred to sleep on the floor. Catherine once remarked, "Since his room has a very high ceiling, I suggested installing a second floor, a kind of mezzanine, with a second fireplace and a second bathroom." This is where Michael installed a barber's chair in his bathroom, and that's where he gets his haircuts. It was my idea also to make him build a folding bed which folds into the wall. Initially, he did not want a bed. He wanted to sleep simply in a sleeping bag so as to have maximum space to practice his dance. This folding bed seemed the ideal compromise. Once it was folded into the wall, we did not even know it was there, and it was covered with wooden panels. His room opened on a brick patio, with a pergola covered with vegetation resting on large columns. He had a giant shower installed in one corner and a tiled barbecue on the other side where he liked to sit in the morning. Michael Jackson lived in the property until 1988, when at 30 years old he moved into his dream home Neverland Ranch, where he had a lot more space to indulge in his childhood playground fantasies. He was the last of the children to leave Havyenhurst, and his father only learned that Michael was leaving when he saw a report about it on Entertainment Tonight. This was typical Jackson family communication, which only got worse after Michael left the house. Following Joe's many infidelities, Catherine finally found herself alone and offered some of her children to settle in Encino, which Jermaine and Randy would do with their respective families. Joseph eventually sold his remaining portion to Michael, and Havyenhurst's house belonged to Michael Jackson and his mother until the singer's death in 2009. Catherine Jackson and all of the grandchildren moved out of the Havyenhurst compound in late 2010 and early 2011 in order to remodel the Havyenhurst house. Today, it is believed that Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson, now lives in the property. Tune into one of our latest videos right here, and also check out our online store for our latest pop icon-inspired styles. Thanks for watching The Detail. We'll see you next time.